Yeah, it's Doug's fault. So welcome to the November meeting of the Borough Parkside Council. Everybody, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please.
Mayor Roman.
Here.
President Guy.
Here.
President Kowski. Mr. Knoll.
Here.
Mr. Powers.
Here.
Mr. Sidlow.
He won't be here. He had to take a business trip.
Mrs. Percival.
Here.
Mr. Swiger.
Here.
Mr. Willis.
Here.
Ms. Catania.
Here.
Ms. Stillwell.
Here.
Ms. Matagi. Mr. Karankiewicz.
Here.
Ms. Marks.
Here.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Murray. Chief Murray.
Here.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. Did everyone have a chance to look over last month's meeting minutes? I'll accept a motion to pass the minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the October 2023 minutes.
Second. Are there any questions? So moved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved, sorry. Is there any correspondence?
I have one. It's to the Parkside Borough Council dated October 26, 2023. To whom it may concern, my name is Howard Pritchard, and I'm a 34-year resident of Parkside Borough. I reside at 25 West Avon Road. I live in the only twin home on the street. I arrived here in May of 1989 with my wife Patricia and my 3 daughters, Joyce, Amy, and Carolyn. It is now only my wife and myself. 2 of the main reasons for moving here were the schools and the fire company. My wife's sister, Rosanna Kami, had developed early onset frontal lobe dementia and was living with us. Sometime in early 2015, she suffered a grand mal seizure. So I dialed 911. The Parkside ambulance was on the scene in record time, and in my opinion, saved her life. In April 2011, my next door neighbor fell asleep while smoking a cigarette and set her house on fire. The fire spread to our house and caused extensive damage. The Parkside Fire Company, as well as many local companies, were quickly on the scene. If it were not for their quick response, we would not have a home. Many residents of our small community depend on our fire company. The Parkside Fire Company is a crucial part of our borough and should remain open. Sincerely yours, Howard J. Pritchard, 25 West Avon Road.
Anything else?
That's it. That's all I have.
All right, next up is the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Crimes reported in October, there were 3. False ID was 1, death was 2. Calls of service was 183. Most prevalent were medical emergencies, there was 5. Suspicious persons, 9. Building checks, 20. Assist other agencies, 39. Domestics, 4. Accidents, 4. Traffic detail, 38. Motor vehicle stop, 80. Traffic citation, 33. Warnings, 47. That's it.
Thank you very much. Next up is call to citizens, agenda-related items only. Okay. We'll move on to President's report. An update on the fire company. Mr. Wills, I'll leave that to you since you've had contact.
Just very briefly, Madam President, on or about November 10th, I had received a proposed agreement from the Parkside Fire Company solicitor regarding the borough's performance of a financial analysis of the fire company's books. There are a number of provisions in that agreement that cause me concern and on which I will not elaborate here this evening, but I think that is best suited for an executive session with council. And I understand that Madam President has called for one immediately following this evening's meeting. So that is where we're at, and that's what I'm at liberty to divulge here this evening.
Thank you very much. Next is approval of the audit proposal from the accounting firm of Weitzel and Economides. We've used this firm for many years now. Are there any questions?
It's always going very smooth.
I highly recommend we continue with this auditing firm for their professional services. I find the price to be quite competitive, and I believe the treasurer shares those sentiments.
I assume we need a motion for
Yes,
this?
that is correct.
I will make a motion to accept the audit proposal submitted to us through Weitzel and Economides for our, this would be the 2023 audit of our book.
Annual audit, yep.
I'll second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. And just a brief update on the zoning board activities. We have the church that we're in conversation with the potential owners. Did you want to get that
I
update?
can discuss that as well. Yes, Madam President, on or about November the 1st, the equitable owner of this property, Green Jaguar Investments LLC, I believe they may have a tentative agreement of sale with the current owner. But anyway, they filed a zoning hearing board application with the borough seeking to obtain zoning relief in order to utilize the former church property as a multi-family apartment building. Now, this property is presently zoned R1 residential zoning district, which does not permit multi-family apartment dwellings in the district. On November the 3rd, I had wrote to the attorney for the applicant advising that the application as submitted was incomplete and deficient pursuant to multiple provisions of the Parkside Borough Code. A copy of my correspondence was forwarded to a borough council, and I believe that is self-explanatory. I do expect to have further communications with the attorney in the near future, and I will keep council apprised of those communications. But right now, as I indicated, the application is incomplete. It is deficient on its face. Whether the applicant decides to move forward with this proposed application, that is still to be determined.
Excuse me, after speaking with some of the residents that live in that area, they are opposed to this project. And I'd like to have our solicitor represent council at the zoning hearing board and hopefully in opposition of this plan. I don't know if I need a motion to have Mr. Wills represent council at that zoning board here.
Well, there are some concerns with the current owner because the building is not being used as it was zoned for.
That's correct.
Apparently, only a certain percentage is to be used for storage for the business, and they far exceed that.
That's right.
So something needs to change. So
Again, I don't know, Mr. Wills, if I need a motion to have you represent council at the zoning hearing board.
Well, let me suggest this, only because that motion may be premature. Again,
Okay.
at this time, again, the application is deficient.
Insufficient.
We need not move forward with the application. I expect to be in further communications with the attorney in the near future. I've outlined with him and I've quoted chapter and verse the various applicable code provisions of the Parkside Borough Code that must be completed if in fact they decide to move forward with this. And it is the considered opinion of Borough Council that they would be opposed to having the former church building as a multi-unit apartment complex. Then at that point, we can certainly take an official position, and I could appear before the zoning hearing board on the borough's behalf if we are to proceed in that direction. So I don't think a motion is necessary this evening, but that's something certainly for Borough Council's consideration. If the property owners in the immediate vicinity are opposed to this application and the borough wishes to support that opposition, then we can certainly move forward with that at a future date.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's all I have for today. In an effort to make it brief, as I said, we'll move on to the finance report.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present the Parkside Borough Treasurer's Report first. All bank accounts have been reconciled through October 31st, 2023, except for Sharon Bank Escrow and Green Tree WSFS accounts. We're including the bank reconciliations and statements for all reconciled funds for council's approval. The general fund for the month of October, $15,033.91 was deposited into TD Bank, and expenses of $4,191.51 were paid. During this period, $22,785.73 of deposits were received into Sharon Bank General Fund, and expenses of $245,454.20 of expenses were paid, including payroll of $41,672.00. Below are the bank balances per bank statements of 10/31/23. General account, Sharon Bank, balance $268,931.29. General account, TD Bank, $177,317.18. General account, Pliget, which is where the general account funds from Sharon were put to gain interest bearing, is at $375,380.38. We have a number of other accounts with de minimis amounts. Our liquid fuels TD Bank account is at $42,980.62, and liquid fuels Pliget is at $9,012.52. After this reading, I would like to make a motion to approve the monthly treasurer's report.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Madam President. I would like to make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
I tried to oppose it, and they still have to pay them, so it doesn't work. Thank you, Madam President. At this time, I would like to pass the mic over to the treasurer to do a brief reading of, or a summary of our preliminary budget. Some of it, I don't want to say is with haste, but more or less today, we've got the numbers for our county assessment. So there is some things that are being adjusted. It's the first reading. I think it's a very strong budget, and hopefully I didn't put you on the spot.
No.
I just wanted to, things are moving. Unfortunately, there was a lot of weight. Now there's a lot of motion, and it happened at like 3:00 this afternoon. So our assessment did go up. That's good news for the borough of Parkside by about $13 million. It does change some of our numbers, but that's a pleasing thing. And then if you could just give us a brief summary for the first reading, I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. So the real estate assessed values, according to the county letter that was received today, went up from 116 million in 2023 to 127 million in 2024. So in doing so, this budget proposes an increase of 0.8 mils with a 95% collection rate estimated for real estate taxes. Overall revenue for the general fund is budgeted at $2,034,085. It also includes a increase for the garbage service fee from $360 to $420 to cover the cost of providing the waste, the sanitation services, because the contract went up and we're projecting a 6% increase for the waste authority. So it equates to like $5 a month to cover the trash. Right now you have two weekly collections, one recycling collection and then a bulk service, correct? So you have very good trash service in the community. So again, our income is $2,034,085 in revenues and offset by the same amount of expense. And I believe the budget will get posted for public review. Liquid fuels budget is based off of, we can only estimate what we are going to receive next year. We estimated an appropriation of $55,000, which would be spent on road repairs as deemed necessary by the engineer and council. If anybody have any questions?
Typically, that would be out of character, but I want to thank Brinker Simpson, Donna Stillwell, and all of council for their diligence on making sure that we had a tight budget, but it's a budget that included 4 new police officers, a lot of changes in the general structure of things. Interest rates have gone up. Everything has gone up. We've had real inflation over the last few years that you cannot ignore. And unfortunately, everybody's Thanksgiving is going to be a little bit more expensive. But I do want to commend all the hard work everybody's put into keeping us to a 0.8 mil increase for this year, which I think is fantastic. At this point, I would like to make a motion to approve the first summary reading for the budget.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
So moved.
I believe the motion to post the budget is in new business. Or should we just-
No, it's your motion to put.
Then we will, I would like to make a motion, Madam President, I would like to make a motion to post the budget and advertise accordingly.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate your time. Moving on to the open space report, we do have some trees that have declined and died. I do think they should be addressed. I know there's definitely been bids put forward. I know it's going to be costly, but it is definitely time to take care of that, and I'll support whatever decisions council makes towards getting that taken care of. And with that, I will report general progress.
Thank you very much. Is there a junior council report?
General progress.
General progress, thank you very much.
You can always use the happy Thanksgiving.
And now for recreation. Recreation?
Sorry about that. Yeah, so November 11th, we had our movie night. November 18th at Parkside Fire Hall from 11 to 3, we're gonna have a fall art show, a fall art fair. December 2nd is our holiday party from 4 to 6. Our volunteers are working really hard on that. We decided to add an ugly sweater contest, so that'd be interesting. And
What type of contest?
an ugly sweater contest.
Ugly sweater contest.
Yeah. So, and then, the tree lighting is on December 3rd at 6 PM. And Mrs. Young, the principal at Parkside Elementary, reached out to Beth Hale, which ultimately reached out to me and said that their chorus wants to sing for us. So we'll have them there. So that's all I have for that, unless any of my committee can think of anything I forgot. We've just been in store for a couple changes this Christmas.
Mayor, this year we're doing something new, is that correct, with
Correct.
registration?
Oh, yes, thank you for bringing that up. So we're trying to get the residents to register because we're trying to get a better head count. We want to make sure that, all the kids will end up with some little gift bag or door prize or whatever. So we're trying to get an idea about that. You can go online. It's on my mayor page, it's on my regular page. It's been going around through social media, so you can just go onto the QR code. And then also Bob has some forms here. They're sitting in the little hall. If you want to just go and fill out a form and give it to Bob, I'll get them from Bob. That's it, right? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Chief, do you want to give a report?
Just one brief comment. It's not every day that something like this happens, and I think it's noteworthy. Yesterday, during the day shift, Officer Young was working, and he had occasion to stop a car along Edgemont Avenue for I believe it was a speeding violation. It was excessive speed through the school zone. And he did his thing. He got the information and ended up giving the individual a ticket. Explained everything to the individual, why he did it, how he did it, what her responsibilities were, et cetera, et cetera. This morning, I got a phone call from that individual, okay? And she couldn't have, for somebody that just got a traffic ticket for probably $150 or more, she couldn't say enough nice things about Officer Young. And her words to me were, every police officer needs to be like that. And I told her I would pass that on to Officer Young, but I think council and the community should know that, that's what we strive to do. And
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, and I'm not at all surprised. He's fantastic.
he is good.
I love him.
Good to hear, Chief.
Make sure he watches. So ordinance, hang on. Scott sent me a message I was trying to pull up here so that I could say what he wanted me to say. Let's see. Yesterday, Scott had Walsh Brothers Mechanical out to the Borough Building. They turned all the heaters on for the season and changed all the filters and did basic maintenance. We should be good to go for the winter. This includes the rear of the police station, which had not been working to the officer's satisfaction. It also includes the borough office and the hall bathroom, which the AC was not working this summer. The borough council room should be set as low as the thermostat allows when not in use. And he did send his apologies for not being here. But if you could read the noise ordinance for him.
Yes, thank you very much, Madam President. Again, my office had drafted certain amendments to the proposed noise control ordinance as recommended by Borough Council last month, specifically with regard to certain hours where noise. So this ordinance prescribes clear and objective criteria in measuring sound decibels, or sound levels, I should say, in decibels that cause a noise disturbance during defined time periods and prescribing penalties for violations thereof. Enforcement of this proposed ordinance would require the borough to purchase a sound level meter device at a fairly modest price tag, and the chief has priced those out for us. Again, the chief has reviewed this ordinance and believe it is appropriate and is satisfactory for enforcement purposes. Now, this ordinance has been properly advertised in Delaware County Daily Times and is now subject to a vote for adoption by Borough Council this evening. And so if it is the pleasure of Borough Council, a motion would be in order to adopt this ordinance.
I'll make a motion to adopt the advertising noise ordinance.
It's already been advertised.
No,
We're not
to
passing.
adopt, adopt,
noise
adopt the
control.
one that was advertised.
Can I get a second?
Second,
Thank you. Are there any questions?
I have a question on the ordinance number. We have it listed, or at least I did from last month, as 577. I think there may be a conflict in numbers.
Yeah, because we have that for the tax rate.
Yes. Maybe I wrote it down wrong.
Well, I brought it with me. You do. I will revise the two for tonight.
Super, thank you.
Thank you for that.
So this one is 577, and we just need to change the taxes one. All right. If there's no more questions, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I'm gonna abstain. I just don't know enough about the details. I don't think it changes.
It doesn't. I don't think so. Any no's? Okay. So passed. So moved. Thank you.
Chief, you'll purchase that sound metering device?
And get the requisite training to go along.
Yes, right? Exactly.
Does anybody have a license and inspections report?
Yeah, I just took it off Scott's desk.
Thank you.
For the month of October, we had 4 building. These are all residential. There were no commercial permits for the month. We had 4 building, 3 plumbing, 4 mechanical, 0 electrical, and 3 UNOs.
Thank you very much.
Excuse me, did Mr. Sidlow leave anything concerning the LED project?
That's in process.
I understand that. I sent several emails to him. I understand the project is going to be $42,616. And I wanted to clarify how much the last invoice was to be put on the public record and how much is coming out of general fund and liquid fuel, including contractual obligation of 3% to the contractor. And I have not received a response from him yet. And I was hoping he had left something this evening.
He didn't leave me anything.
Thank you.
Here's at least my note, Shirley, is that again, the total project price before rebates will be that number, 42,616. It's my understanding though, after the rebates, I believe the hard costs are 34,453. That is what is in the contract. Again, that latest
Liquid-
revised contract.
Yes,
Yeah.
with liquid fuel.
Okay. They're the numbers I have here.
Okay. That's what I came up with.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can I piggyback on that for 1 second?
Sure.
I did see correspondence where they were gonna look for the subtlest light. I don't remember the exact term that they were using.
The
but
color.
Is there something?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a
Help us
color
with that?
intensity. There's a color intensity. Some is bluish, some, and the question is which light you actually want. There's a very bright white light. If you go to Eddystone Borough, for example, you'll see that bright white light. That's what they wanted. There are other communities that have more of a blue hue to it. And then there are some that have more like the mercury vapors, like the
Yellow.
yellowish, orangey color. So it's really what you prefer as a group. I don't know that that's been determined yet.
Media has some new lights and they do have that redder color. I don't know if that's an actual term, but it's soft enough that you don't get that loss of light, like in between houses and things like that. It basically, it doesn't change your eye focus or anything. So if council was interested, that would be my recommendations.
So I can tell you that you can ask for them to put up the 3 different light colors. So they will put samples up so that you can take a look at them, determine what you want. That's what I would suggest, so that everybody can see what it is that, not necessarily next to each other, obviously, because if they put it next to each other, you're not gonna see it. But if they were to put one in different locations, you'd be able to make your choice that way. That's what I would suggest.
Any chance they could do that before like the December council meeting, just in case we had, I mean, it'll be dark before we meet.
Will Scott be around, or I can
He'll be
call?
around.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Next we have Public Works.
General progress.
Thank you. Mr. Daly's not here. I skipped over code compliance. Did you have anything you wanted to report?
Sure. So I did get my certification on property maintenance inspector. I'm just waiting on now something from the state of Pennsylvania. And I did go out with Mr. Ferguson and Mr. Hunt.
Ken.
Ken. Yeah. And we did an inspection on a property that's about to be rented. So it went pretty good. I learned a few things that I wasn't really sure of. Things like that. I've talked to a few residents about different code complaints that were brought forward, and we had nice conversations, and everything went well. The problems were taken care of, and that's pretty much it for now. I filed a lot of paperwork that was in the office, and I'm just trying to get that squared away now. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
So we're down to recycling now.
Our trash totals for last month were 105.94. Recycling was 19.31. And I'd like to remind everybody that there's no recycling next Wednesday. It's Thanksgiving. That's all I have.
Your pickup on Friday?
Yes.
Communications, Mr. Sawyer.
Our next copy of the newsletter should be out shortly. I know the articles were sent in, so it's just a matter of getting it all arranged and ready for distribution. Other than that, I can report general progress.
Thank you very much. Do we have something from the tax collector?
I do. September 17th, 2023 to October 22nd, 2023. Good evening. Treasurer has received a total of $1,209,327.32 to date. There was $3,866.80 in revenue deposits from September 12th, 2023 to October 22nd, 2020. Regards to the treasurer.
Thank you very much. Mr. Todd.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a few things that I wanted to mention. We're talking about the small PA Small Water Grant for the Edgemont Avenue Stormwater Project. The CFA board is supposed to meet on the 21st of November. I checked today, and this is the notice that's up. We still don't know whether it's on the agenda. It says the Commonwealth Finance Authority is scheduled to hold a board meeting on November 21st, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. The meeting is expected to be held virtually. Unfortunately, the agenda for the meeting has not yet been made public. So it has been postponed. The last 2 meetings were postponed till November. I have no idea where we are. I did mention to council the potential of an LSA grant. That is due at the end of November, so we are running out of time. But I would suggest, if you are even remotely interested in that we contact the local legislators, because it's actually through their offices. So it will be done as a single application. However, you we need to get a letter of support from them. So, again, we're at the 18th hour, 25th hour, in order to get that completed.
So what do you need me to do?
I don't know whether, I'm assuming the council would be willing to have that project put under an LSA grant. It's eligible for that, and anything that improves the quality of life for the residents of the community is considered eligible for the grant. So I hate to say this, and I don't have a resolution here, but there is a resolution if we can at least put the resolution to the floor. I know there's a procedure that's not on the agenda, but we need to have that resolution for the application. If not, we can send it later. So,
We would need to make a motion to obviously amend our agenda this evening to include that action item. And so if it is the pleasure of Borough Council, a motion would be in order to amend the agenda item.
I'll make a motion to amend the agenda to include the resolution for the LSA.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor,
Oh, yeah,
say aye.
I know it's got to. I'm so confident. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And now the resolution itself.
So the resolution I do not have in front of me. There is no match money for this LSA grant. So I can get the line, I don't know if I can pull it up. Maybe we can go back to it under new business.
You should make
And I can
a
pull it up.
motion to grant Catania Engineering the opportunity to refine the.
Let me see if I can pull it up, but let me go through my report and then I'll see if I can pull it up. We can do it during new business. If you don't mind. West Cole Memorial, we could actually have Christmas lights on a tree at the West Cole. The work is completed. I checked before I came in. The lights actually do operate in the park, so that's good. I do not have a final invoice for that. And we've checked, there was a small area where Ernell is going to do a little bit more topsoil work, but the rest of the work has been completed. That final invoice will be about $22,000, I believe is left, and we've already approved the $15,000. The contract was for $37,000, so there's about a $22,000 that we will take care of at the next meeting. I do not have an invoice for that as of yet. With that, I wanted to advise that 5,000 of that, the borough has already received for the Pico Green region, from the Pico Green region. Unfortunately, last month, we took action on doing a Pico Green region grant. If we can get that project completed by, with a closeout report for this West Cole project by the 30th of November at 4:00, they will consider a new application for us. So I have the form to do the closeout. I actually have an extra Pico Green Region sign. I've asked Estelle to send another one to replace where I was going to put this one, so I can at least get the photos with that sign, adhere to the current signs, and get that completed. There are some checks that we're going to have to cancel, checks that I'll get with Donna to get that completed. And hopefully by the 30th, we'll have everything done, get that greenways or that green region application in. Community Development Block Grant, you are aware that
Pick two projects.
we're going to try to pick 2 projects this evening.
We did.
Oh, you did it. You did it without me.
Without you.
We somehow managed.
Okay, so if you can let me know what they are, we'll move forward with those. My apologies. I wasn't here, didn't realize that we had a meeting earlier. And I believe I did reach out. PennDOT is going to fix the inlet at, Tom Sweeney in Upland. What he said was he has materials, he has trucks, don't have anybody to run the trucks, put the materials together, but he did look at it, they are gonna take care of it. So I'll just keep in touch with Mike Burns and make sure it gets done.
And they were there Monday. Their truck was sitting off to the side and the gentleman was trying to push that metal thing and it wasn't moving. And so I just did a wave, and so they were there Monday reviewing it.
So by the way, and it's something, Mike Burns is the District 6 maintenance manager at PennDOT. So he's our contact from a municipal standpoint, but if there's anybody that has a CDL that wants to work, PennDOT has 1,900 trucks that they don't have drivers for. So there's jobs out there. And I might as well, I may get a thank you from PennDOT from Parkside. It's out there. They're having all kinds of problems with labor, just as everyone else is, finding people to complete the jobs. So you're so inclined. That's all I have. Wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I'll answer any questions if anyone has any.
Thank you very much. And now, Mr. Wills, whatever you have left in your report.
Yes, thank you, Madam President, and most good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The solicitor's report is as follows. Number one, it's a resolution I have for statewide local share assessment grant. Again, in consultation with Chief Murray, I have drafted for Borough Council's consideration a resolution authorizing the borough to apply for a statewide local share assessment grant in the amount of $123,068 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for purchasing 2 all-electric police vehicles. Now, unfortunately, this resolution did not make the council agenda deadline. Therefore, again, if it is the pleasure of Borough Council, a motion would be in order to amend the agenda to include this proposed resolution.
Would that exhaust all the funds that Ms. Catani was just discussing for the stormwater inlet?
No, understand that this is basically a non-matching grant. So this is basically cost-free, right, Chief?
That's correct.
Yeah, this would be quote, free money.
The same.
That's not, it's the same LSA, so whatever resolution that you have, we can utilize, and there is no limit on the number of applications that are, I think that's what you are, is able to.
I would make that motion to accept the,
Let's add it to the agenda first.
let's make a motion to add the wording for the LSA. I don't know, how would you like that worded?
For the police cars.
Resolution to, help me out.
For the grant.
Basically authorize the borough, again, to apply for a statewide local share assessment grant for the purchase of all electric police vehicles.
I make that motion.
So we have on the table the motion
I'll
to
second it.
add to the agenda. We have a second. Do we have any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? So moved. Now, would you like to make the motion for the,
I would like to make a motion to proceed with the grant resolution to,
no, I'm gonna read it.
And
read it again.
I'll try to read fast. Again, be it resolved, the Borough of Parkside of Delaware County hereby requests a statewide local share assessment grant of $123,068 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for purchasing 2 all-electric police vehicles. Be it further resolved, the applicant does hereby designate Thomas Murray, Borough Police Chief, and Robert Platt, Borough Secretary, as the officials to execute all documents and agreements between the Borough of Parkside and the Commonwealth Financing Authority to facilitate in obtaining the requested grant. In witness whereof, again, we attach and affix the borough seal the 15th day of November of 2023. So if it is the pleasure of council, a motion would be in order to adopt this resolution.
Well said.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have a resolution number? No.
As he said, it was too late for the agenda.
No
Would
worries.
that make it 1865 after the CDBG?
We'll just catch it up.
Okay. Okay, any questions?
Here it is.
All those in favor of, applying for this grant? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Well, thank you. Next item on my agenda concerns delinquent trash fee accounts. My office has recently obtained a payment in the amount of $3,277.74 from the property owner at 2800, 2802, and 2708 Edgemont Avenue in full satisfaction of delinquent 2020 trash fees. That check was hand-delivered to our erstwhile borough treasurer this evening. I will be filing the necessary lien satisfactions with the Delaware County Court of Common Pleas. Next item on my agenda concerns a streetlight procurement program contract. Again, my office drafted subsequent revisions, again, to the contract that council adopted basically last month, authorizing cooperative purchasing and participation in phases 3 and 4 of the Regional Streetlight Procurement Program. And again, that contract is through the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Commission. And again, that contract sum, the net sum is $34,453. Next item on my agenda, again, concerns right to know law request. Again, my office continues to work very diligently with our open records officer and responding to multiple right to know requests. Mr. Platt is clearly a quick study, and he is well organized and becoming well versed in the right to know law. So again, that area, again, we continue to proceed and make progress on. And then finally, I bring to council's attention, we are obligated to conduct a mandatory reorganization meeting. That meeting must be held on January 2nd of 2024. Again, that is for the express purpose of swearing in newly elected council persons, selecting municipal officials, and taking care of any necessary housekeeping tasks that may be on the agenda. Again, that reorganization meeting must be advertised at least 3 days in advance in a newspaper of general circulation. Again, either a judge or Mayor Roman may swear in those newly elected council persons. That'll be the discretion of the mayor. And with that, Madam President, I can report general progress. And again, I express happy Thanksgiving again to all our neighbors and friends here at Parkside Borough. That is clearly one of my favorite holidays.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Now is time for a call to citizens for non-agenda related items.
Michelle Scroback. I wanted to give an update on the food pantry. We've had quite a few residents throughout the county email us asking for help. And Chief Lamy and I did a delivery today in Chester for one of the residents. So I wanted to thank him because they just came back from a call and came with me to deliver that to the residents. Also wanted to thank for residents that have been reaching out, offering their turkey certificates to anyone in need. So I wanted to put that out there as well, as if anyone needs anything for dinner next week, to reach out to us through our Parkside Food Drive at gmail.com. We'll be happy to help out with that as well. Also, there's plenty of things at the food pantry for your Thanksgiving needs as well. The food pantry will be opened tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. It is open every other week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, Tuesdays 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. and Thursdays 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. as well. But if a resident or anyone else is unable to come out during those times, they could also reach out to the email and we will help out. And our firefighters or our committee members will come to the pantry and open it up for anyone as well. I also want to thank Sun Valley's football team who is continuing to collect for the food pantry. I've also had some other sports teams at Sun Valley reach out as well that are continuing, would like to help out our food pantry. Sun Valley, I wanted to wish them well for their turkey bowl. Go Vanguards. They are also having a turkey bowl dinner for the football players, and they had put out a link for anyone that wanted to donate for their dinner for the team, as well as their parents. So you can reach out to the Sun Valley Touchdown Club. They have a Facebook account as well, and you could donate for anything that is in need on there. And if not, there's also, you can Venmo cash and the parents will go out and get what's needed for their dinner. So I just wanted to put out that information and thank them.
You're gonna go. I'd like to thank everybody that helped with the election. We had a peaceful day. Also, Kim forgot to mention her toy drive. And CPR, they're doing a simulated arrangements at the firehouse. They're going to be teaching CPR to any resident that would like to be taught. There was a date, right?
It was for the
CPR.
Sunday. I have to talk to Dave about that.
But when she gets a date, she'll put it back out.
Okay, there's nothing. We'll move on. There's nothing under old business. So did you want to?
May I have that resolution that you have there?
Yes.
Okay, let me read. This is the same grant, so we're gonna use the same resolution, if you don't mind, right, okay. So this is the resolution of council of the Borough of Parkside, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, authorizing the borough to apply for a statewide local share assessment grant and designating. No, we would never do that. Designating our council president and borough secretary to execute all documents and agreements necessary for compliance with the grant. Be resolved that the Borough of Parkside, Delaware County hereby requests a statewide local share assessment grant of $484,375 from the Commonwealth Financing Authority to be used for the repair, replacement of the Edgemont Avenue stormwater system. Be it further resolved that the applicant does hereby designate Anna Guy, Borough Police Chief, and Robert Platt. I tried, Jay, I tried. My council president and Robert Platt, Borough Secretary, as the officials to execute all documents and agreements between the Borough of Parkside and the Commonwealth Finance Authority to facilitate and assist in obtaining the requested grant.
So
Second.
Are there any questions?
You have a resolution with it?
Come on, Charlie.
Now you're just picking.
You knew all this before. You called me about everything else. You couldn't call me about this.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Well done. Okay, next is motion to advertise the dates of the 2024 council meetings.
So moved.
Second.
We have them here listed. Are there any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Onward. Setting the trash fee for 2024, that's 576, right?
Now 578.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because 576 was the noise, remember?
Okay, so 577 stays the same?
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you've got it straight.
Well,
All right.
who knows?
So, motion to advertise ordinance 578, setting the trash fee for 2024.
At $420. So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so now we're on to motion to advertise ordinance 577, setting the millage rate for 2024.
At 9.7 mils for each dollar of assessed valuation.
9.7. Do I have a motion?
I make that motion.
Second.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Can I ask, please, that Mr. Fisher get a free copy of this so he has an idea for his tax
The ordinance?
points? Yes.
Sure. I'll leave a copy of this bin tomorrow.
Of both of them, please.
And then we have motion, resolution 1864 to apply for the CDBG, which choice number 1 is to turn the car wash into open space. And
So it would be acquisition.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't believe it qualifies, but we'll check beforehand.
option number 2 was handicap accessibility at the Woodloft.
Are you like 100% sure? 90% sure? Should we come
Like
up with an alternate?
95% sure.
Can we have a brief discussion on an alternate just in case, so it doesn't go sideways on us?
Well, we talked about the environmental development plan again, to give us an idea for the future of the borough. That was rejected last time, so that's why council picked around a couple other projects.
So I have some things in here, and we're gonna do the tree inventory for the Pico Green Region. But one of the things I thought about is doing what it would be considered a blighted properties inventory, and I don't mean that they're falling down. It's just an inventory that takes a look at the neighborhoods and determines, are there homes that could be considered in distress that could cause a blight in the next 5 years. But it's just something that I think if you do put something like that together, you're able to go to a different level in the community development block grant process, where you could say, this neighborhood, this particular block section, like these 2 blocks of, I'm not even gonna throw a name out because I don't want anybody to think I'm picking on them. We'd like to do a survey there, and they will do a concentrated survey in just that particular neighborhood. It's through, the council would have to participate, OHCD comes out and participates. They more or less do a HUD survey just for a small area. Because right now, as you remember, none of your areas are eligible. And we know that there are certain spot areas that we could ask for. So if we do this survey, we'd have that information.
Well, would the old gas station be considered on the blighted list?
I wouldn't see why not, because it's certainly bringing down the quality of life and property values
In that
within that
corner.
particular area.
Sure.
Right,
Okay.
right. So, it's just something to think about. I mean, we've tried to get a master plan for Edgemont Avenue, that didn't fly. The economic development plan didn't fly. we don't have very many choices. We've got all the lights that we can get within the areas that have been eligible. So that's the only one that I thought could possibly
Well,
work.
if we can join the old gas station into the blighted property inventory grant, maybe that will help.
Well, if we have to designate an area, we could say the Edgemont Avenue corridor
Yes,
as one of those areas.
Well, you would just,
Just so it
it would
includes
be
the gas.
borough-wide, and then you would,
Okay.
okay.
right? So the whole inventory would be borough-wide. And then from that, they're the areas that you would look at. Typically, what I'm hearing from Phil Welsh over at OHCD is they are not looking at streetscapes anymore. So we're not, in particular, streetscapes that are mostly businesses, that they're looking more towards the residential side, and you certainly have more of that than you have commercial and no industry, right? So,
And it's better to apply and get turned down than not apply.
well, I think if I call him, I would ask him that question. If, he thinks that we ought to refine it, or it's not a good idea, he will tell me that.
Okay.
So I'll talk to him tomorrow. Well, yeah, I'll hopefully talk to him tomorrow.
Are we okay with that for our second choice? Our first choice would be the accessibility at the woodlot.
What does that mean, the handicap
I
accessibility?
think we tried to get like the 4 parking spots or 6 parking. We had a few
okay.
times and then the
Because
bar.
right now, the woodlot, other than that front area, is ADA accessible. That's why we have the landings that we have. Any of the benches have area right next to them so that anyone sitting in a wheelchair can be adjoining, not feel that they're left out. So as far as ADA, other than the handicap area.
Would it be reasonable to pave the first 200 feet?
Well, I'm gonna tell you that
to get to the ramp that is ADA?
they probably will look at Chester, since all of Chester is CDBG eligible, and bring that block and the woodlot block together to determine, can it be considered eligible? That's what they did. That's why you see we have lights down the Chester end,
Right.
and we have lights here when we were eligible along this area, but there's a gap, and the
Chester's
gap is
area.
because that's as far as we could go with the eligibility. It's clear as mud, right? She's looking at me. It's clear as mud.
Oh, then can council change priority 1 to try for the blighted property inventory so that we can capture that gas station? And priority, or the alternate would be the woodlot ADA improvements?
So that's a construction project, and you're not eligible for a construction project. My apology, I should have been here, or we wouldn't be talking about this now. That's my fault, I didn't realize we were having a hearing tonight.
So I would say option 1 would definitely be the blighted project. And then what would we go as option 2?
I think the ADA thing's been shot
I
down
do
like
too.
3
Yeah.
times.
I did too.
You know, we've taken this up the ladder at least 3 times, haven't we?
Mm.
Was it 10?
Yeah,
Not much to try.
Do we have another second option?
Would like doing a rain garden down there be?
it's still a construction project.
Yeah, it's a construction.
Any other recommendations?
I had the tree inventory, if we wanted to do that, just to put it in, because what does it hurt to
What's
put
the
it
tree
in?
inventory mean? Is that just for the
So that
woodlot?
would be to go over to the woodlot, do an inventory of all of the vegetation there, and then it would be a maintenance plan to implement whatever was necessary. Doesn't give you any money to do anything with the trees though, which is what we're looking to do with the Pico Green
But
region.
that would at
So
least tell us.
kind
what
of
to do.
backwards, counterintuitive. Yeah,
We could put that as our second option. So,
I think that sounds like a good second.
sounds very limited, like what we're doing.
yeah, it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, our districts are limited. We don't have certain spots.
All right. So do we need to vote on that?
Yes.
All right. So we're gonna go with this CDBG. First choice being the, related property inventory. The second option being, the tree inventory in the woodlot. Can I get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All right. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. It's the last thing I have on here.
Can I just?
I have one thing. I'm requesting Bob to send a letter to purchase the road salt from Brookhaven Borough again this year. I don't believe that's done yet.
No.
That's all I have.
Can I do a shout out to Sun Valley for winning the 2023 American Open Class Marching Band?
All right, best holiday of the year coming up, food, family, football, enjoy, and we'll see you in December.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I got it, second, all those in favor? So moved.
Are we taking a
But we're not going anywhere.